Okay, I'm back. This time, it's playoffs, alright? So the Fluffy Rejects made playoffs in Battle of the Bastards. So that's pretty cool, right? What I didn't know was that there was going to be 6 games, okay? So the higher seed gets to choose an extra tier. So that it ends up being 6 games so that there's potential for tiebreakers, I guess, to make it just a little bit more interesting. Which is cool. But since our opponents, the Almighty Goons, were the higher seed, they got to choose the tier, and thus they chose LC. Which is unfortunate for me because I have to commentate 3 LC games, which is most likely just going to be me skipping over them and saying what moves they clicked because I don't know a thing about LC or how any plays work or if any play is good or bad. But yeah. I guess that's it. We have 6 games, so this week we're playing Insanity, myself, Sparks, Brett, Mega Oshawott, and Boot. Insanity played first, I believe, so let's just kick it off. Alright, so he brought Mega Gyarados, Taunt Dragon Dance, physically offensive, speed for whatever he was creeping, and then rest in bulk. Weakness policy, mixed Aegis Slash because they had a Gliscor, I believe, so we needed it to be mixed in order to kill that and close combat hit Ferrothorn, I think, or some other steel type. Yep, Wakan Berry just to bait in the Tapu Koko and Sludge Wave. Defog is just pretty standard. Pretty standard Rotom Heat as well. It's mixed defensive with Rest, Overheat, Volt Switch, and Toxic. Tangrowth is Assault Vest with Earthquake, Knockoff, Power Whip, and Brick Breaks, Spadef, and with whatever left after we needed, like whatever defenses was left after living the things that we needed. With the certain amount of EVs, we just put into defense. Again, same thing with last episode, mixed defensive. After the calcs of what we needed to live, we had the rest over and we put it into the other bulk. Poisonous because Water Absorb was not necessary, and we could get the knockoff chance to poison, so that's pretty cool. Yep, let's get into the game then. So, Insanity playing first. We have Rotom Heat Lead versus Sudowoodo Free Volt Switch, which is good because now we can bring in our Tangrowth. He misses a Hit Smash, which is kind of unfortunate, but as you see, it doesn't do 50, which means we could have reacted the other turn. We just get the free turn to knock off there, so that was the only difference. We power up on the Drapion, switching, good play on the opponent's part. Clicks knockoff on our Seismitoad. We lose it afterwards, which is kind of unfortunate, but we do get this chance to get up our rocks as they get up T-Spikes. We click Earthquake to get chip on Ferrothorn, but he reveals to be leftover, so that chip is going to be minimal. He doubles again into our Rotom, but we kill it this time with Volt Switch, which is good for us. Then we get in on Torn as he brings in Koko. And here, Insanity makes a misplay. We do have a Rotom Heat, which should just come in freely on Koko every time. Especially since we're rest, we can take the chip and then we can rest up and then like stall the rest turns against either Gliscor or Talonflame. Or even Ferrothorn, I guess, right? So the correct play here is just to switch out into Rotom Heat. Or if you really don't like the T-Spikes up, you stay in and click Defog because you live the Thunderbolt or whatever, and you can get the T-Spikes away. However, he stays in and clicks Sludge Wave. This is very unfortunate because this just gives him a free switch into Gliscor, and we don't gain anything from the turn. Which means he's able to actually switch out back into Koko as we defog, and now we're kinda tough because we gained no mileage out of that turn, and all that happened is we lost our Wakan Berry and we're lower than we were meant to be. So, yeah, from here it's going to be a pretty uphill battle because we lost the Tornadus, like, basically pretty early, and then Gyarados taunts, which is good here. We can D-dance up this turn, yep. Solid play. Taunt again. This turn the taunt probably wasn't necessary, but you could have just waterfalled there, which was technically a misplay, but it's okay here as long as we don't click taunt here. Unfortunately, as you see, he does click taunt. The correct play on that turn should have been to click Crunch, live the Power Whip, Mega Evolve, and Crunch to take it out. Because as you'll see this time, the Crunch after you Mega does 60, which means the before it would have done around 40. So depending on rules, the Crunch into Mega Crunch should take it out. Yeah, but now it's an uphill battle because we really cannot kill Gliscor aside from like overheat crits or something. We missed, but at this point it's not going to be very fruitful of what we do. We'll just go pretty fast here, but he gets the Toxic off on Tornadus, and now it's just him switching back and forth between Koko and Gliscor until everything dies. So yeah, We do have rest, so we can try to PP stall, but giving so many free turns isn't going to be nice for us. Just because he'll be able to get up T-spikes eventually, or he'll just be able to take advantage and kill us. But yeah, as you see, we can't kill this Gliscor, and it's just very free for him to keep spamming Toxic and Knockoff. As he does, and then he roosts up whenever he's low, he clicks Knockoff once again. And yeah, it's just not going to work out for us. Click Hurricane, doesn't do enough damage, of course. The big turn was not clicking Waterfall. We clicked Taunt instead, which is a pretty bad play on our end. Like, if we just clicked Waterfall and this Gliscor was dead, it would have been pretty good for us. Like, very good for us, actually. But unfortunately, Insanity was not able to find that line. And now, and now it's not looking too good. Because, yep, Ferrothorn comes back up to almost full due to Leech Seed. Click Stealth Rocks, Rocks are up now. And everything's going to take Rocks damage, and Gliscor plus Coco isn't killable, so there's nothing much to be done at this point. Clicks Rock Slide, clicks Knockoff. He gets Chip on the Seismitoad and goes into Ferrothorn, gets Leech Seed back, and now Ferrothorn is also back at full, which makes things even harder to deal with. But yeah, Drapion comes right back in, clicks T-Spikes this turn, clicks Knockoff to take out our Seismitoad, and yeah, as you can see, everything's just slowly getting chipped down. It's like a... Like, he can afford to just basically play stall here, just roost up and keep switching, which is, like, perfectly fine for him because we literally can't touch it. So, we defog, but it doesn't help at this point. He SDs on our Autotomize, which is a good play on his part. If he had clicked Flare Blitz and we got our Weakness Policy off, it still wasn't ideal for us because we may not be able to take out Gliscor depending on his investment. So, it would have been sketchy at best, but yeah. Unfortunately for us, we take the first loss of the playoffs. So that's pretty unfortunate. So we're down 0-1. Next up is me, and I am playing low tier. So what I brought is a Fistef Restock Primarina. I needed to be very Fistef because Heracross was a fairly big threat. That being said, the plan is to get enough chip on the Heracross to the point where he can't switch into anything. So I think what that ended up being was I needed to get down to 55. If I get it down to 55, or technically, what's it called? Sorry, 67 with Rocks up, that's good enough too because after Rocks he'll be coming in at 55. Then he can't really switch into anything because Sludge Bomb does too much. Blaziken he obviously can't switch into. Dragon Pulse does too much and Rock Blast does too much. And then obviously we outspeed with Sigilyph and Blaziken. So yeah, the plan is to try and chip it down and use Primarina to switch in on its close combats and its Mega Horns, just as a way to safely pivot, basically. So yeah, let's get into the game. So, lead Blaziken because we're Scarfed, of course. We click U-turn on the Comfy, get in our Sigilyph. We trick it immediately. Oh, I guess I didn't go over the team, huh? Oops, I'll do that real quick, sorry. Yeah, Restock, Primarina, Trick, Black Sludge, because, well, we had an extra move slot. Basically, Air Slash and Toxic took care of everything, and the only thing I was annoying was Empoleon and Licky Licky, so Trick hits both of them with Black Sludge, so, you know, that was pretty cool. Roserade is Spadef for Comfy, Scarf Blaziken, Stealth Rocks, Spadef, Regirock, and Spadef Defog Grandpa. Yeah, pretty quick thing. The only cool thing was this Trick. So due to that, we're actually able to just go into our Roserade and kill it with 2 Sludge Bombs here. As you'll see, he clicks Story Power, does negligible damage. We could Giga Drain on this turn, which is an okay play. I think I may have expected the Empoleon to come in. Giga Drain again, probably expecting Empoleon, but I don't know, that was probably technically a misplay. I should have just clicked Sludge Bomb. But it's fine, as I do have the switch into Primarina as a response. He goes into Superior, however this cannot be contrary, so Roserade should wall it all the time. We Sludge Bomb this time to break the sub. Sludge Bomb Toxic, expecting the Noivern to come in, however he gets the play rate and goes Empoleon. He clicks Ice Beam, does less than 50, which means we're free to defog here. I believe I just Thunderbolt this time to get chip on this. Yep, as we see he's not leftovers, which means he will eventually die to stuff. Now, this turn is pretty big. As you can see, he's at 68. So, in one turn, he'll be at 62, and then the next turn, so the next turn, after the turn ends, he will be at 62. and then the turn after, he will be at 56, which is not technically enough. I need it to be at 55 to guarantee that I am able to prevent this thing from freely switching in on anything. So, even though it's not 55, I'm okay with having that extra 1% there, because that just means I'll have to find another sack or make another good read. So this turn, I'm fairly confident he's just going to click Facade. So I do just go into Regirock. Yep. Now, he is at 62. Now, because he clicked Facade and now Close Combat, I'm able to sack off Primarina to whatever he clicks, and he will be below the 55 range. As this turn, he clicks Close Combat, he brings me down to 38, and he should be at 56. 1% above the 55 that I needed to be at. So, all I have to do here is sack off Primarina, and I prevent this thing from coming in freely on anything, because he will be below the 55% mark. He will actually be at 50, which means a couple more things kill it, even if so I don't have to actually get the correct play to prevent this switch in. However, he gets a fairly low roll, not a very low roll. I think it's about a 70% chance to kill there, so it's 69%. So it's more likely than a Scald Burn that I live. But yeah, I do live, and which means that I just remove the threat immediately. Obviously, that was pretty big because Primarina was the response to Heracross. However, if it had went down, he would have been below 50, and I do have my Sigilyph and Blaziken, which are both faster, and being below 50, he can't switch into any one of these things. Assuming a 3 hits on Rock Blast and Dragon Pulse connects, it has to connect, it's 100% accuracy, and Sludge Bomb also kills it. So yeah, pretty solid. I save Primarina because I do believe I can get off a defog here versus the Serperior. He puts me in Berserk, which is pretty cool, but it just roost up here. He has Black Sludge, so I'm not afraid of this at all, and I'm +1, so even if he tries to Calm Mind up, I can Thunderbolt and eventually break through due to him having the Black Sludge. Defog here, because now I can get in Primarina as a good sack, and not just a sack, because if he doesn't click a move to kill it, I'll be able to preserve it once again. Thunderbolt does way too much in conjunction with the Black Sludge. He Draining Kisses, not enough damage, obviously. I roost up, I'm at +2 now, and Thunderbolt will guarantee take it out. Draining Kiss heals it back up, but being at +2, Thunderbolt just does take it out. And yeah, at this point it's fairly over, because he puts me at +3, and Thunderbolt takes out the Empoleon as well. He brings in his Noivern to Hurricane us to do a good amount of damage and take out our Drampa, but at this point it's fairly over because Regirock comes in and spams Body Press, and as you can see, his only switch in is Noivern, which will die to Rock Blast. So I double into Primarina on the Wish because I can heal up now, and I can use it as a safe switch into his Noivern. Clicks Body Slam, doing negligible damage. Primarina Rest Talks on the Serperior, rolls Rest, not that big of a deal. Go into Roserade, the automatic response. As you can see, he won't really be able to touch me at all. Knock off again, no damage, Sludge Bomb to break the sub. Licky comes in, now I just have to fish for a poison. Don't get it there yet. Click the Toxic, because even if he is Heal Bell, he'll eventually run out of it. But he should just be Protect. Click Synthesis here, which is cool on my end. Go into Regirock to sack it off, basically. I don't really need this at this point. I can just spam Rock Blast. As he does go Licky, I get my Rock Blast off. How many hits do I get? I only get 2 hits, but it doesn't really matter. I click Body Press here to take it out. Yep. And now I sack it to whatever comes in, and then I go into my counter accordingly. So I go hard into Roserade because he brought in his Serperior, which means Roserade can come in freely forever. Click Sludge Bomb and take that out. He brings in Noivern. He misses Hurricane. Doesn't matter at this point. I have my Scarf Blaziken. All I have to do is click U-turn and then come sack something and then come back in and click Knockoff, and then it's over. So yeah, fairly good game. The only thing that was unfortunate was the Facade roll. It was a 69% I think to kill, which is not super likely. I don't know why he went for it if that was his win con. It was a pretty bad play if he banked on a 70% to try and lose the game. So yeah, fairly solid game. We're tied at 1-1 now, which is good. Next game. an LC game with Sparks. I'm not going to go over the team very well because I don't really know LC, like I said. But you're welcome to look at it. As you can see, it's Scarf Mudbray. It is heavy duty boots, offensive, speedy, Wingull, Fizdef, Spritzy with Wish Toxic. Ferroseed is mixed defensive, I think. Ironhead, Leechseed, Stealth Rocks. Revenge, I believe, is for the A Pawnyard. Choice Scarf, Pancham. Fairly solid Revenger for anything. And Ninkata is just Final Gambit. I don't really understand, but he had some idea for it, I guess. But let's watch it. I'm not really going to commentate because I don't really know what happens in this game. But yeah, you can look at it for a while. As you can see, he traps our Ferroseed with the Nose Pass and clicks Fire Punch. Clicks it twice to kill us, and we got no mileage out of our Ferroseed, which is quite unfortunate. We go into Mudbray and click Heavy Slam, bad play on Sparks End because that activates his Berry Juice, and now we're forced to switch. We go into Pancham, Ironhead flinch it instead of Drain Punch to kill it, but luckily we get bailed out by the flinch. He lets Brave Bird into Poison Jab to take out our Spritzy. We Air Slash instead of Hurricane, which means that doesn't die and we lose our Wingull. Ninkata comes in, Giga Drain, and then we die to Hydro Pump. Pancham comes in, and we Drain Punch, and then we die to Aqua Jet after the Hydro Pump. Mudbray finally comes in, gets a hit off, and kills the Ponyta, but then he revenges us fairly safely with his Cutie Fly, sorry. But yeah, that's just how LC games go. We're down now, 1-2. Another LC game by Brett. If we lose this, even if we win out, we're just going to tiebreakers, so losing this would really suck. We really need to win. So, this is Brett's team. Offensive, Life Orb, Pick-a-Peck. Dual Screens, Abra, because I think Psychic was the only thing needed, and everything else is just to support the team. Scraggy was Dragon Dance. Offensive. I think it's just the theme is Screens offense here. Yep. Yes. Sticky Webs, Screens, and then everything else just tries to win. So yeah, fairly solid team idea here. Let's get into the game. I believe he does lead with a Sticky Webber, but we go hard into Scraggy because oh sorry, that went way too fast. So what happened was we led with Swaddle, and then we go hard into Scraggy because we lived the 2 Flare Blitzes. We go into Shelter, and he misses a Wisp, which is fairly big because that makes it so that we're free to Shell Smash and not have to do it again in order to actually get an attack boost. So yeah, after seeing the Will-O-Wisp, we double into Abra, as we are Magic Guard, so we don't take any damage. We click Knockoff. Sorry, I guess it got changed to Knockoff. I don't really have the updated paste. Anyway, we click Knockoff to get rid of Grimer's Berry Juice. Drain Punch after we Dragon Dance up. And then we kill the Ponyta. And Scraggy dies to Scarf, not to Dazzling Gleam. Boomburst hits this and kills it because no Berry Juice. He clicks Thunderbolt, Swaddle lives. We get Electro Web off. He misses Air Slash, which is pretty lucky for us, so we take out the Natu with no real issue. High horsepower, but we live Ice Shard, so we just synthesize up. As you can see, we just constantly synthesizing here. Yep. And then finally we click Bug Buzz, and we click Bug Buzz one more time to get enough chip to put it in range of anything. And yeah, here we just Rock Blast, and then Ice Spear to win. So yeah, pretty lucky, honestly, that we dodged the Will-O-Wisp. But yeah, we Shell Smash, and then we win. Solid game. We're now 2-2, which means if we win one more, we're guaranteed at least a tiebreak. And if we lose, we have to win the last one, or we just get eliminated. So, next up we have Mega Osh. One more LC game. Sorry again, I don't really know what happens, but Chople Berry Pawnyard with SD. It's pretty standard, I think, and then Chople Berry just for fighting moves. Gothita, Shadow Ball, and Psychic was all we needed, so Trick is a good support option, and Calm Mind in case we do have some ability to take advantage of the thing that we tricked. But yeah, Timber, Bulk Up, Mach Punch, Drain Punch, Knockoff, fairly standard. Magby, Choice Banded. Facade, Mach Punch, Flare Blitz, and Cross Drop. Yeah, it's cool, I guess. Actually, I think Facade got changed to Flame Charge, but I'm not entirely certain on that. Turtwig is just Rock's Body Slam since this isn't toxic. Again, fairly standard, I think. I'm not sure because it's LC. Berry Juice, Magic Coat. Just I think this is just lead Nose Pass. So let's get into the game. Oh, sorry. I don't know why there's music. How do I play without music? Oh, there we go. Anyway, lead Nose Pass. He Volt switches out as we should just get up our rocks here. Yep. He kills us with a Drain Punch, as to be expected. We go onto our own Timber. We tried to knock it off, but he has Sticky Hold, so he can't get knocked off, which is a really cool thing because he can recycle forever, basically. We Drain Punch his Timber after knocking it off, and then we kill his Timber. We Mach Punch to get Chip and break potential Sash, so we can kill it with Godzilla. So far, so good. Turtwig comes in. He U-turns and kills our Turtwig. We unfortunately have to sack off this to Purloin. Now here, very, very fast game, but as you saw, after sacking off Gothita, we're free to just go into Pawnyard. Pawnyard, as you can see, does not take that much damage from any of his moves. So we got to SD up fairly freely, and now all that we have to do is click Iron Head, because we were at 60 something, 65 I believe. So, being at 65, we live the U-turn, knockoff, whatever he wants to click. So all we have to do is click Iron Head or knockoff to take this out. However, Oshawott decides to click Sucker Punch. And then he clicks Sucker Punch again. So now we're 0 for 2 on 50-50s, which shouldn't have happened in the first place because all we had to do was click Iron Head. Had we clicked Iron Head or knockoff, we would have had this alive. At +2, Sucker Punch kills this, Iron Head kills this, Iron Head kills this because Rocks break Sturdy. So this was a guaranteed win. But now, we're forced to play mind games. And unfortunately, it does not work out for us. And we do just lose. We do click Flame Charge to try and bring something out of it, but he does have the Chin Chow to just kill us. So yeah, that's how that game went. A guaranteed win, unfortunately thrown away because we made like a very bad play just not clicking Iron Head or knockoff. So quite unfortunate. Now we're down 2-3, which is very, very saddening because this was a guaranteed win and we would have been up 3-2. And then if we win, we just go on to the next well, I guess the next thing is the finals. So we would have just gone to finals if we had won this and we win the next game. But now we put so much pressure on Boot to try and bring it back for us. Because if we don't win, we're eliminated. So we do have to win this and try to get into tie breaks. So let's see what Boot brought. Boot brought his good old Rain, Choice Specs Pelipper, offensive Stealth Rocks, Swampert. Very cool Dracovish. This is meant to Super Fang down the Seismitoad and then Draco Meteor kill it due to Draco Plate boosting it. Coco is fairly it's like utility. Roost, Defog, Dual Stab. Malmetal is sub Body Press, Double Iron Bash and Acid Armor. Just a pretty solid set overall. The only issue is Dragapult because it can Will-O-Wisp to our subs. And then Lumberry, Toxicroak. Lumberry is kind of a lure. We expect Dragapult to Will-O-Wisp us turn 1. So what the ideal is we eat the Lumberry as he Will-O-Wisps and then we knock it off and get insane damage off on it and it's no longer a threat. So yeah, let's watch the final game. If we lose this, it's over for us. If we win this, we go into tie breaks. So let's see what happens. So he leads Toad, we lead Pelipper. He clicks Toxic as we immediately get a Hurricane off, doing so much damage to this thing, making it fairly useless right out of the gate. We go Hard Swampert, good play on Boot's end, expecting the Melmetal. We get Rocks up. Then we go Toxicroak. We click Knockoff here as he reveals to be Zen Headbutt, which means we lose our Toxicroak, but knocking it off is enough, as you'll see later on in the game. We click U-turn as he tries to sack it, but we just go Melmetal as he gets up his spikes. He clicks Leech Seed, we double Iron Bash, and we crit on the next turn, but he would have died still to the next double Iron Bash, even if he didn't get the crit, even after the lefties, because as you can see, without the crit, it would have done 60%. So he would have gone back up to, I believe, 25% after Leech Seed. And even if he synthesized, because of Rain, he would have only gone back up to 50%, and he would have died to the double Iron Bash the next turn. So yeah, he brings in his own Melmetal as we go Swampert. Good play on our part, expecting the Thunder Punch. We take no damage. We Earthquake on the Clefable. Unfortunately, he is able to live the next Earthquake, so we have to go for the Freeze, as we do expect just the recovery move. He clicks Protect, so now it's pretty useless. We can try to go for the crit, or we can just go into Melmetal eventually, as Boot does make the good play, and he goes into Melmetal on the Moonblast. Now we do just get a free double Iron Bash and or sub here. He does just look the double Iron Bash, probably not wanting to sub, expecting maybe a Dragapult to come in and Will-O-Wisp us, so good play on Boot's part. Here we do just double Iron Bash. Subbing is useless because we would have been burnt already, so we double Iron Bash to do around 50%, and we can click it once again fairly freely. He goes into his own Melmetal. Good play on his end, because he can use this as an opportunity to set up if he has it. If not, he can use this as an opportunity to try to get the right play. However, he gets the wrong play and he clicks Earthquake on our Pelipper, because Boot is just too good. Here, we click Weather Ball and do 85 to Melmetal. So now this is useless. He tries to make a play and he does not get it right. And Weather Ball claims the kill here, so Boot plays it insanely well and he clicks it again. Now Melmetal comes back in and the Tornadus clicks Hurricane, as we're just trying to sack this at this point and spam double Iron Bash. As unfortunately, because of the burn, we don't actually kill this after he clicks Protect. So I'll go pretty fast here, but what you'll see is he never clicks Protect, and he didn't click Wish, which actually means that he just sacks Clefable, and Melmetal comes out alive, which means we can use it as a sack later. We sack Pelipper, fine play just to set up the rain, and then Ice Punch as he, so on that turn, obviously, if he was not Scarf Tornadus, all we had to do is Ice Punch and then Ice Punch on the Tornadus. However, he does actually end up being Scarf Tornadus, which means he outspeeds our Swampert. But because he is Scarf, he's locked into Grass Knot, and our Coco can come in and kill it with the Thunderbolt. So yeah, that's it. Very good game by Boot. He played it very well. We're 3-3, so we're going into tie breaks. You'll get another video later after all our tie break games are played with the tie breaks, and we'll see if we make finals or not. But yeah, that's it. 3-3 going into tie breaks. Had we, I do believe we could have just won immediately had we played better in some of our games. But you know, it is how it goes. Pretty good series. We'll get you back in tie breaks. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.